Folks, welcome back. Dani Menkin, director and writer. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
I'll start with a few questions and then I'll hand open it for some questions from the audience. But Dani, tell me, what inspired you to make this film and tell the story?
This is working. It's interesting. I've been here with few road trip films, so I love road trip movies. And at some point, I just had the premise of this little kid that's asking about his mom, and the dad doesn't want to tell him that she passed away. He tells him she's up there in the mountain, and they're going on the road to look for her because the son believes him. And I told that pitch, when it came to me, the one-liner, I told that to my wife, and I said that she's crying. I was like, oh, maybe there is something there. So I started to write it and to develop it as a healing story. And also, I didn't want it to be depressing, so I made the character a stand-up comedian, a loser, failure stand-up comedian, that it's pretty hard to write, by the way, bad jokes. But
not for everybody.
Yeah, no, but it's hard because if the joke is funny, then you failed. You need to write something that is not funny, and that's how I developed it. And at some point during COVID, there was another bigger project that I wanted to make, and it was impossible to do it because of COVID, because of fundraising and stuff. And I said, oh, but I do have something that is, with a little bit more, independent spirit, and I can do it even during COVID. And I was able to put it off, with the wonderful actors, the support of people in the community. We have some of them here, right here. Tzipi Fay Holland, our executive producer, and Sharon, the mother of Zach, that he was also helping me, we did some reading to the screenplay. And I see people react to it, and I got excited, and we went on the road. We've done the film, and to see it coming to life, and to people to be moved by it and laugh and cry, it's very rewarding. So for me, more than anything, this film is a healing. It's a healing of the characters, but almost every film of mine, like I think it was very much on Dolphin Boy, but every film is kind of healing process. The journey is something that I'm going kind of with the characters.
And tell me a little bit about the process. So how long did it take you to shoot this film? I love an independent that's not like, a Hollywood production that works like 6 years on a film and shoots it over a whole year. How long does a movie like this take?
So we shot it a little bit over a couple of weeks, and we found that place in Ojai, which is north of Los Angeles. So we shot it over there, and that kind of was the inspiration for Little Town and for the road trip. And and that's kind of like how it came about. The key was to find the kid, and you met the kid in Florida, and he was just, he is still a lovely kid, by the way. Yes, he's incredible, and he has something on Netflix, and we're going to show the movie. When I was here during the screening outside, we are invited to his town, Lexington, in Kentucky, because they're going to make him a big star there. They're very proud of this. So the key was finding him. There were many people auditioning for Jason and Lauren, but he was a big part of, finding the right one that the audience fall in love with.
And he did a great job, and they all did. They all kind of like played their parts like really well in terms of.
Yeah, I come from documentaries, so for me, making a feature film, I try not to get away too much from the documentary world. And once I cast the actors and they're accurate to the characters, I really try to let them be themselves. So I let them do. You saw it in other films of mine. Je t'aime, love you, Terminal. Is that you? Even the Je t'aime, I had an amazing actor, Alon Abutbul, but still, I encouraged him to be himself as much as he could.
So that was my next question in terms of a script. Like, how close did you have to stay? Did your actors have to stay to the script, or it seems that they had a lot of freedom and were able to improvise?
It's relatively close to the script, but I really put in like a loose environment on the set. so I don't like go. You know, if the word is different, it's fine. You know, I'm not.
I wrote this word. You need
No,
to,
no,
that
I don't
seems
care.
their
I
style.
don't even remember. Sometimes they tell me, but you know, you wrote that word. I say, yeah, but that's better. You know.
Nice. So to make a film like this film, I mean, it's gone. I mentioned to like I've seen it at a lot of Jewish film festivals, which is nice. But I think this reaches really universally. Where does a small movie like this? How does it find its audience these days? Where does it go?
Yeah, I always say, you know, when you make a film with a heart, so it should be good for anyone with a heart. You know, so for me, it's really something that you know, it will go to the platforms. It will go at some point after the festival circuit. It will go to digital, and I mean, it's an audience film. You know, people laugh and cry. So you know, I believe, you know, there will be a wonderful home for it. We had a wonderful premiere in Israel, above all places, and they loved it. They really liked the truck driver for some reason. You know, actually, we had a screening in Hollywood, the Chinese theater, and after that, I get a phone call, and he said, "Where did you find the truck driver?" You know, he won the best supporting actor in the festival. So he's, you know, so he wasn't like he won an award, and he came for a day. So it was really fun. It was,
It's a fun character. What inspired that character?
you know, it's funny. I wrote it kind of like as a funny joke for myself. I didn't even know if it will. When we did the reading, you know, I saw people reacting and laughing from it, but I wasn't sure it will be so funny that somebody who's kind of like a redneck, but he loves Jewish films, Jewish songs, and he hates racism. So I know I found out that, you know, people just laughed at it, and I did want in this emotional journey to have as many laugh moments and comedian moments as I can, and he did the job. You know, people are like, you know, I mean, he's probably going to go to the next Eurovision and sing Hava Nagila or something. You know, he's and Mashiach.
A great moment. Before I open it to the audience, I want you maybe can share what are you working on next?
Yeah, so I'm working, and here again with Tzipi, we're partnering on the very important story that I'm working right now on Colville, Texas. That there were 4 hostages that were held for 11 hours beginning of the last year, and I got the exclusive rights to make this film. Amazing footage, and I feel this is one of my most important stories. Very much different than Colville. However, it's very important because it's about anti-Semitism. So right now, if you know anyone that want to join our team, please let us know, because we're still trying to raise the support to make it happen. It's a very powerful and impactful film that I hope that if everything will go well, in a year from now, we'll show it here. So I have an amazing people. I have Rabbi Buchdal that I interviewed here, and I have the Prime Minister of Israel, and I have all those 4 hostages. The FBI collaborated. It's a very strong story. If anyone remember those 11 hours that 4 people were held hostage. So as soon as it happened, I was actually writing another film. And when that happened, I could not write the film. I was just glued to the TV. And just a little bit after, when I saw the way the rabbi said that even though that something like that happened, we will still love the stranger, I said, wow, that's inspiring. I wonder if there is more to it. And the fact that it was documented, all those 11 hours, and I get sound, you know, I said that should be a strong movie. So, and the most important thing, you know, you're raising 2 kids, I'm raising 2 kids here in America, and anti-Semitism is on the rise. You know, to bring that now to the world, it's very important.
Thank you. Folks, your questions, we'll pass the microphone around.
Thank you. You actually asked 2 of my questions, but I have one more. How did you get into filmmaking?
Oh, wow. The way you may have heard that story because it came from another film of mine, and that I really wanted to be a soccer player. I think I should have been a soccer player. And I just, when I wasn't exactly the best soccer player I could have been, they opened the sport channel in Israel. There is a sentence: if you can't join them, report on them. So that's what I did. I joined the sport channel, and I took some workshops here in Maine, in the United States, because I thought, I was always drawn to the American indie films, and that's how I started. And then I was involved with a movie called Wisdom of the Pretzel. Elon Heitner, my friend.
So he was one of the producers of this
He's one
film.
of the producers here in the film as well, and in any of my films, he's a big supporter for my work. And I made the film 39 Pounds of Love that Jeff Bartz was here, my editor, that was on HBO, and that started kind of my international career.
Very sweet movie. The geography was another character, and it was so spectacular, and I actually had a sense of suspense. And are they getting there, and is this place real? And I just wondered, for you, was it a metaphor of just being patient and not knowing what the answer is, or I mean, you lingered till the very end. There was so much time in the journey, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts were about that.
For me, any road trip film, there is the story that the characters are going. Specifically, the father wants to go to the open mic, but the son thinks his mom will wait there. But that's on the surface. The other one is that the healing and the journey that they're going through, from the beginning to the end. And you see it in the character of Jason. You see it even with the character of Tommy, that is realizing his mom is not there, but it's okay. So they're going to some kind of growth, and nature is playing a big part of healing. I think when we are going in nature, something like that happens. You can take the geography and the place that we shot it in Ojai, that has some kind of some kind of arc of the story as well. But I felt like they're all climbing a big mountain. They're all one, including the character of Lorraine. They're all trying to get to something. She's trying to find a family. They're trying to form a new family. So I felt like at some point it was a bigger journey than just getting there and finding if Little Town exists or it doesn't.
Did they ever just consider checking a GPS? Was that ever?
You saw them trying, and it doesn't appear anywhere. Yeah.
So first of all, thank you so much. It was such a sweet, loving movie. My question to you is, I don't remember how we met, how it started. So maybe you can remind me.
Absolutely, yes.
And the other thing, before you say that, I want to say about the hostages. I was in the IAC in Miami 2 years ago. We had 4,000 people, and I had the rabbi and some people from there on stage, and 4,000 people just got up, and we were praying and saying, with everything else, God is with us. So now tell me how we met.
Yeah. So how we met? We met at the screening of 39. Of On the Map, with Tal Brody and the Miami Jewish Film Festival, and Tippy was very generous, coming and showing some basketballs and say, who's supporting his next movie about Olsi? He said, before you say anything, I'll support. And then, so, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Shalom. Yeah. Oh, here.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Regina.
Feels so official. Hi. Okay. First of all, the observation that I made for myself was that the casting was amazing because everyone looked kind of famous, and we had to do a kind of a triple take. And I'm like, no, they're not quite. They all looked like someone you might see in Hollywood. So that was incredible for me. I'm like, wow, well done. The one question I have is, did you allow each character, each of the actors, to interpret the script the way they felt spoke to them, or did they have to adhere to your stage direction? I don't know how to word that.
No, I definitely encourage the actors to have their interpretation. Once they knew their character, they knew where it's going. They knew the cause and the goals. That's the characters. It's very important for them to know their goal. Okay, what do I want? That's very important for it. But once they knew that, oh yeah, there were moments that we did not even go with the entire crew. I mean, we had like 10, 20 people that were waiting, and I just went with the cameraman and the soundman, and they were walking, and things happened that were they were in character. That was beautiful. I love those moments. When that happens, magic happens.
I'll take one last question up there.
Dani, do you have a favorite film, and do you think that film has informed your filmmaking?
Wow, yeah, I do. I have few films. I mean, my favorite is, now I want to ask each one of you, but we don't have time. Because I say, mine is Forrest Gump. But if you saw some element of another film that I really love, it's Little Miss Sunshine. You saw maybe some elements of that. Like, I think one of the best road trip films ever. So yeah, they inspire, everything. But everything inspires, everything. My son inspired me for some elements of this, and could be my conversation with you right now will inspire me something else. It's like a mix of everything, That's why it's so magical to make a film. What? Yes, that's fine.
Dani, thank you so much. Keep making beautiful films. Folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this, and I hope you enjoyed. See you soon. Thank you.